Good afternoon, wonderful people. Welcome to today's Instagram Live. So today we have the lovely Emily Syphas on the show. I keep calling it a show. Is it a show? I don't know. We're just going to go with that. It's going to be good. Emily is the owner, founder of Sober and Social. For those of you that don't know Sober and Social, it's a fantastic sober community for people that are either sober, curiously sober, or looking to be sober. And she does amazing things by basically just putting people into positions where they can feel comfortable around not drinking in situations where you feel like you normally would be. And I've been a friend of Emily's for 10, 11 years. And we have a really cool backstory. But I'm going to bring her on today to talk about her journey through lockdown, what she's been up to, kind of her learnings from that, kind of what's Sober and Social up to, and we'll just have a good old natter. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hello everyone who's joined. Thank you very much for joining in. Right, let's bring Emily on with the live. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. Your hair looks blonde. Have you dyed it?
No, I haven't. It's just the sun, actually.
Very, very blonde. It looks like you've been away on holiday in the back garden.
Wow, I kind of have, haven't I? But just not actually physically getting on a plane anywhere.
Like it. Very good. So yes, have you been? How's? Are you still in Brighton, or are you back in London now? Where in the world are you?
Yeah, still near Brighton. Thank you for having me on your show, by the way. I
Absolute
think you
pleasure.
can definitely call it a show.
You know what? I keep saying it because it's just the thing that comes to mind first. But actually, I don't know what it is. Is it like? I just call it a live. We'll call it a live show. There we go. That's what
It's a
we'll
show.
call
It's a
it.
Jack Ravel show. Like, you're
Jack
going to be a
Ravel show.
thing. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's all good.
Yeah,
It's
no,
all good.
I'm really good actually. I've been having a positive day. I finished the last episode of our podcast this morning, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit.
Yes.
So I was just celebrating that and been sunbathing and looking forward to
Amazing.
chatting to you. How are you?
Fantastic. Yes, I'm really good, thanks. I also have had a pretty productive day. You know, those days where you just get like life min lists and you're like, right, I'm going to do everything on that list. And I kind of got everything done. I had like travel insurance claims to do from like months ago and had like, emails to sort out and all sorts of other things. So yes, it's been a good day. But let's talk about Sober Sips to begin with. Sober Sips is obviously it's your sixth episode, right? You did today.
Yeah.
Talk to people for people that don't know what Sober Sips is. Do you want to just let them know quickly what it is and we can talk about it?
Yeah, so Sober Sips is a podcast which speaks to influential and inspirational people about their drinking journeys. And the whole point of it that I came up with the idea was because we were in lockdown and I thought there was lots of like booze content going out of people drinking lots, and I thought people might need to be supported during this time so that we would listen to other people's stories in the hope that it might inspire other people to continue on a more mindful drinking journey, or kind of start to explore, kind of dip their toe in, or for those that were currently on one to keep them on track. So it was only ever going to be a mini series of 6 episodes, and that's what we ended up finishing off today.
And how's it gone so far? How have the episodes been received?
Yeah, really well. I've actually had really, really great feedback, which has been amazing, from drinkers and non-drinkers as well, which is nice. Lots of people that currently drink saying how interesting they found it to hear other people's stories. So yeah, no, it's been good. So hopefully season 2 we can do shortly.
Was my next question. Yes, what's the plan for season 2? Are you going to be doing some more, or are you going to take a bit of a break for now?
Yeah, I'm actually taking the whole of June off. Everything. So
Everything.
everything. No,
Wow.
so I'm going to do a U, but on a not on a year sabbatical, just a month sabbatical. And just have a few weeks off to myself and just kind of start planning and strategizing kind of the rest of the year.
Perfect. Fantastic. And can I ask why this has come about? What's given you the reason you want to sort of take a break and a step back from being on social media and sort of plugging the things that you've been doing so far?
Yeah, I just kind of thought I've been running a million miles per hour for like the past nearly 2 years, doing a full-time job and doing Sober and Social. And then coming into lockdown, I was furloughed, but then I decided to obviously start a podcast and continue doing lots of different events for Sober and Social. So every day I've just been waking up, and sitting at a desk and working basically. And I just kind of feel in this climate, I'm probably never going to get a chance again in my life to take a whole month off and not have to go to work and not have to do anything apart from kind of just really focus and sit with myself about, you know, what are my next steps and where do I want to go, and that this is a really good opportunity to do that.
I completely agree. I think that I've spoken to a few people about this, and it's kind of, I suppose, become a bit of the talking point with these these lives that I do. You know, the lockdown learnings is what kind of comes to mind, and it's really interesting hearing it from different people because everybody's taking this whole scenario very differently. You know, some people are really, you know, really relishing the fact they've got lots of time in their hands, so they're making the most of it. Others are feeling maybe a bit anxious and stressed about that exact same situation, and vice versa. So how come, how have you, why are you taking the break sort of now towards sort of, if you like, the back end of what we're going through, rather than when we first started? Why did you not just think, let's just take a break right now as we've decided to go into lockdown?
Because I probably felt that's when people like needed the most support, was kind of at the beginning. And how long? So we've been doing it for like what, a good 2.5 months now, maybe a bit longer. But
Yeah,
I started doing. Yeah, exactly. So I started doing like the Thirsty Thursdays, which was like our community meetup as soon as lockdown happened, because I thought people will be struggling. They're going to need like some weekly accountability.
Yeah.
So we were doing that, and then I started the podcast, and then we started doing like some fitness classes and some DJ nights and some yoga. And it was just going really well. I didn't really want to stop it, and I just kind of feel like if I don't take a month off, it would be really easy to continue doing events, coming on social media every day, and just getting caught up in this kind of, you know, rat race that we do, which is ironic that you're still in a rat race, even though you're in a global pandemic, you're furloughed and you're actually at home, you've still got yourself in this crazy like work head, right? Of all these expectations of what you should be doing. So and also the podcast has kind of finished. So I just feel it's quite a good way now just to take that break and just kind of have a reset. And you know, I've got some great events coming up in July. I'm already working with Morning Gloryville to do an amazing Saturday rave with them. And I've signed up to so many courses that I just need a month to complete them all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. You get so sort of caught up with everything that's going on that you kind of like fill your bucket with loads of stuff to do, and then suddenly you're like, it's overfilling, and you have to kind of go and take a step back to do it. So touching on sober and social, obviously the people that are joining in today from your side, and for anyone that doesn't know sober and social, I explained a little bit at the beginning, but how has it transformed from what it was before we went into lockdown, before this whole thing kicked off, to now what it is? How have you found that your audience has adapted to things, you know, and how has the reception been to people struggling, or maybe people feeling like this is a good opportunity to try sobriety because there's no sort of, I suppose, what's the word? There's naughty FOMO, you know, experiences that are happening. There's not everyone's down the pub on a Friday night, etc. Do you know what I mean? So how has the audience and how has your community found lockdown as a whole?
I mean, I kind of think it's gone kind of two ways, hasn't it, in this situation? You've either got the campers that are like, actually, no one's going out, like, and I think if I was still drinking, I think I actually generally would be in this camp, especially living at my parents'. If I was living with other people, it might be different, actually, but if I'm living at my parents', the fact that, you know, you can't really go out to a bar and a nightclub. Like for me, drinking was very social. I never really drank at home. Like I would I would get home and have a glass of wine and watch TV, mainly because I got so drunk so easily that I would just be sitting there and wouldn't remember any TV programs. So I think there's those people that are like, well, nothing's really going on. I might as well actually kind of just like exercise, be a bit more mindful, and use this time to work on myself. But then I think there's the other camp that's like, I don't have work tomorrow, the sun is shining, why am I not going to drink? And I have noticed a lot in kind of various groups that people are either drinking more who currently would drink, and people that have been sober. I have noticed a lot of people, I don't like the term relapsing because I think it's negative, but drinking again when perhaps they were meant to be on a sober path, and finding it really tricky. So I think there's a really good combination of all of those things going on, really. And I suppose, like, for us, obviously the whole thing is it's a sober community built through sober events. And my main thing when I set it up was it wasn't meant to be an Instagram page. It was just meant to be in real life events that proved like to be great experiences for people that would then maybe reframe what they thought that they needed on a night out, and that was alcohol, that maybe they could have fun without it, and maybe, you know, they didn't need to connect with people the way that they thought through alcohol. It was kind of my initial setup of Sober and Social. I didn't really want to do the whole social media thing, but I have done, and it's been great because I've reached so many more people. So moving everything online in lockdown has obviously been great because we've managed to really get a good, like, solid community every Thursday, meeting up, having great conversations, checking in about their sobriety, as well as, you know, working with different people, like, as you found out, doing all these Instagram lives, getting to chat to different people, find out about, you know, other people's lives, basically, that perhaps you wouldn't have done before. So I think it's been positive.
It's good. Yeah, I think what you touched on about having the ability to sort of almost, you know, look at life's very different now, right? And it could be like very different for the foreseeable. But, you know, from speaking from experience, as you know, and we've spoken about this before, I'm someone who definitely is sober curious. I have been through periods where I have been sober, and then I've kind of gone back to it a little bit, but nowhere near as much as I used to. And I kind of look at it from a point of view of like, I'll take sort of 5 steps forward, but then 3 steps back, and then I'll take 5 steps more forward, and then I'll take 2 more steps back. So I'm sort of getting there, but I'm kind of like ever so slightly taking a step back every time. And the reason I do that, I think, is because I'm still experimenting with the reasons why I'm looking to maybe go sober completely. And it's great because you talk to everyone about it, and everyone has a different opinion on it. And some people want to sort of stop drinking because of their own health, which is a big one. The other one is maybe for, you know, social reasons, or another one is because they can't control it, or things like that kind of come into it. And I'm still in that headspace of like, well, what is it about it that I want to stop? Now, lockdown for me has been a great opportunity to just not, because my biggest thing is I get FOMO, and I have this thing of like, oh my God, everyone's out and I want to be out, and then it all goes apart. But because nobody's out, because everyone's, you know, having to be at home, you just have that time to think and pause and sort of say to yourself, okay, actually, it's Friday night. And this is the weirdest thing. The first couple of Friday nights we had, I would still think, oh, it's Friday. I'm not going anywhere, but I kind of feel still like a glass of wine or something along those lines, because it's kind of that ingrained message in your head that you've been, you know, conditioned with for God knows how many years. So I think this has been a really good test, as well as also experience for people that don't necessarily or haven't thought about going sober or haven't tried sobriety, to give it a go and see what it's like. It's almost like a little sort of dip your toe in the water type thing. So, I mean, I've been watching your social media and your projects as Sober and Social and Sober Sips grow. And I've actually met some really cool people through the last time we spoke. Some people have got in touch with me, and in particular, there's James England. You know James England?
Oh, yeah, I saw that cheeky little workout you did this morning. I was like,
yeah, social distancing.
It
was a social distancing one, but yes, you know, so people like that, and Colin McDonald as well. Those guys, we've connected through the Sober and Social community, and you know, we've all got different backgrounds and different stories to tell, but we've come together through that. And I think that's what's really important about the community. So my long-winded point of this story is, if you're looking to experience something in the social world, in the sober world, but you still want to be social, even though we're in lockdown, you can still connect with people. You can still get in touch with similar sort of people that are maybe going through similar things. And, you know, when this all blows over, which it will at some stage, and things will go back to a normal way of life, I think it'll be really cool to have new people that you can connect with based on what you experienced together during lockdown. So yeah, I think it's important that we focus on that. In regards to your personal learnings, rather than not so much Sober and Social, but Emily's learning about you. Yeah. What have you taken away from being in isolation, being at your parents, kind of taking things to a sort of a lesser level than what you're used to?
It's an emotional roller coaster. Like my emotions have been like we're on a roller coaster basically, and I think that's from feeling quite you know, being in a different environment, not having a job to go to every day, not being able to see my friends, yeah, lots of different, not knowing when this is going to end, like all of these things. So yeah, I've noticed my emotions have actually been quite up and down throughout this period. But what I also have noticed is I'm just so grateful that I'm sober throughout all of it. Because if I was drinking, I can only imagine that I wouldn't be dealing with any of the emotions. I wouldn't be sitting with them and, you know, being like a witness to my thoughts and a witness to my emotions, and knowing that you're not your thoughts, and knowing that, you know, this will pass. I think I would actually be in quite a dark hole, thinking this is never going to end. I wouldn't have been able to like put a positive spin on it. And I also think that I wouldn't be doing like all the positive things every day that I do, like getting up and going for a run, doing my yoga, writing my gratitude list, reading lots of books, taking on loads of courses, doing a podcast, all of these things that kind of keep you in a positive headspace and keep your mind ticking. I certainly wouldn't be, you know, connecting with the sober community with all these amazing positive people that I get to speak to. So I think because of all those reasons, I'm very lucky in that I've been able to kind of, you know, keep my head together. But if I was drinking, I honestly don't think I would have been able to. So yeah, I think for me, lockdown has been a bit of a bumpy ride, but all learning and all kind of growth, isn't it, when we go through these difficult emotions?
You're absolutely right. I think you know, it's easy to look at the negatives of things like what we're going through now. But if you can do exactly what you've just done, is harness on the positives and look at, you know, oh yes, I've had bad days, but I've also had good days. And I think a lot of people get the good days because as humans we are ingrained to focus on the negative. Unfortunately, it's just the way we are. And you know, a lot of what I teach my clients and people that I meet and that want to learn about mindset is that you can change your mindset. It's just a choice. It's literally a choice between working at the positive versus the negative. And if you can look at the whole situation of that ride that you've been through, that emotional roller coaster, and pick out the bits that you can concentrate and the strengths that have brought you from here to here, you know, the negatives to the positives, those are the things you need to harness, and those are the things you need to sort of concentrate on going forward, because those are the things that are going to keep you in that good positive mindset and stop you from dipping back down into you know, the lower points of the roller coaster, so to say. One thing I wanted to ask you actually is, you're an inspiration to a lot of people. You know, you've got a huge community of people that look to you specifically as the founder of Sober and Social to help them through things like this. Who is your inspiration? Who do you keep in touch with, or who do you look to for, you know, a bit of upbeat motivation, whatever it might be, that kind of keeps you going each day when you're not having the best of days?
So I have this friend, well, my friend Charlie, who is someone that I basically speak to every day, who's also on her own sober journey, and we really keep each other supported. Has been like one of my number one people. And also whoever's struggling, this person is at Mother Heart on Instagram. She is just one of the best human beings that I've ever met. She's been sober for herself for like I think she just hit 8 years.
Wow.
And she does a lot of emotional kind of healing work. She does tapping. She's a trained counsellor. She is just a great person and is always just there for me whenever I need her. So yeah, she is amazing, and she actually does like one-to-one classes. So if anyone is struggling in this area, definitely check her out, because she's, yeah, I think the best at what she does. So those two people, so like my own kind of like sober community in a way, have been the people that have kept me supported, that inspire me to continue going and to continue me to like progress. And you know, when I'm having a bad day, to be able to have that outlet of, you know, I'm not actually feeling that great and this is why, and to have someone to break it down with, like, that's inspirational.
That's amazing. I think that it's so important to have those people in your life, because as you said, not everybody's perfect. If anything, perfect is just a made up word. It is in my dictionary anyway. I believe that perfect was kind of a word that was invented for God knows what reason, but it's not about, you know, being perfect. It's about having the ability to see past the days that are not perfect and make them better than they seem. And having people around you is really, really important, because ultimately, if you can express yourself online, you can maybe say something on a post or whatever, and you know, you get comments back or people, whatever. But ultimately, if you're able to speak to someone who's gone through the same journey as you, B, who understands what you're going through, and C, is able to give you honest but also like calming and kind advice, or if not guidance, to help you through those things, then you know that really, really helps. And you know, I touched on it actually a week ago or so. I put a post out that was all about checking in with yourself. And it's important to check in with yourself every day, absolutely every day, you know, and especially on the days you're not having a good day. But if you can check in with yourself and check in with somebody you trust, you know, that it's even better, because then you've got that person of accountability to help you through that journey. And if you are feeling bad, they can ask you the question, how are you today? What are you getting up to? You know, how are you feeling? You know, and sometimes the simplest question can just really make you think, how am I actually today? And then it, you know, gets you talking, gets your emotions flowing, and you know, you may come out with something you didn't maybe know how to portray in words, but they've unearthed that feeling for you, and they've been able to get it out on paper, which is always better if you're trying to deal with something.
Yeah, and to kind of break your kind of like negative cycle, I think that's going on inside your head. And also, I've just found useful, like on some days, just being like, actually, today, like everything isn't in flow and things aren't connecting the way that I want them to connect. And do you know what? I'm just going to give myself a day in bed, and I'm going to eat some cake, and I'm going to have a cup of tea, and I'm going to binge the whole of White Lines, which I did the other day. 10 hours I spent watching that bloody programme.
Wow.
Yeah, you know me, all in or all out.
With the hair flick, it doesn't sound like it was that. Was it worth it? Was it worth 10 hours?
It was, if you wanted some mind-numbing TV to stop you thinking about the world. Yes. Do I think it's the most intellectual thing, best acting? No, I don't. But you know, sometimes you can just take a day, and like those things are totally okay to do. And you know, just be like, and it's not going to be forever this day. It's going to be one day, and then you're going to get up tomorrow. You're going to go for a run again. You're going to do yoga. You're going to do all of these things that make you happy. But because you've taken that one day to really sit with yourself and allow your feelings, I think that is just as important as well as, you know, trying to get yourself out of this mindset when maybe, you know what, some days you just can't. And that's okay too. But as long as they don't fall into like a week or days on end, then obviously that's not a healthy place to be.
Absolutely. You mentioned earlier that you said when you've been locked down with your parents in Brighton, but you said you might have struggled if you were with, you know, other people, whatever, in your flatmates or whatever. For those people that are watching that are maybe in that position, that are sort of a bit torn between, all my flatmates or people I live with are all having a lovely Sunday drink or Monday drink, who knows what day of the week it is, in the sunshine, and I feel antisocial by not getting involved, but I also don't want to then drink. What would you say to those people?
I would say, I mean, there's lots of different things I think that you can help with. Is A, make sure you've got really good non-alcoholic selection in your house. So if people are having like, you know, a glass of champagne in the garden or a beer, like go order some non-alcoholic champagne or get a non-alcoholic beer and really take part in it. And I think once you kind of get over that initial stage of worrying that, oh, I can't take part because everyone's drinking, and actually it was a thing that someone said in my podcast, actually they said keep the ritual but change the ingredient. So it's like if all of your friends are still going to the park, and although not all of your friends because we're in social distancing, or a few of your flatmates are in the garden having a drink, you know, you can still do that ritual with them, but you just change what you're having and change the ingredient, which I think is actually really great advice. I think definitely tuning into Instagram, finding sober communities. There's Club Soda, there's Sober Girl Society, Rock Sober, 1 Year No Beer, Sober and Social. Like there's lots of people out there that you can connect with that are having weekly meetups. And what I found really important in my sobriety is having that kind of like sober outlet of people that you can talk about and understand your struggles and understand like why it's hard with other people drinking around you, because people that are still drinking, they won't quite get that and understand how like maybe left out you can feel, or kind of how much you are struggling. But I think once you've got that really healthy outlet of kind of like a sober community, that then allows you to be strong enough to go back and spend time with your friends that are drinking and actually enjoy it, because you've kind of almost got all that negativity out and all your kind of fears have kind of been released through people that understand it, and then you can go back and actually have a good time with your friends. I think reading, putting as much kind of like positive, sober material in your brain as possible. Like it's very easy. The sun is shining. You haven't got work. There's other people drinking. Why would you not have a drink? All of these thoughts that are going in your head. Like I know, like, you know, they come to mind too sometimes. So reading good sober material and listening to podcasts such as Sober Sip.
Plug.
And Honestly, meditating has changed the game for me. Meditating and running, just to know that I've done something really good for my mind, to put it in a good kind of frame for the day. It has really helped me to stop my thoughts and think, okay, what am I feeling? Why do I want to do this? Like, essentially negative action for myself, and to really make me kind of stop and reframe what I want to do. And I think exercise, and I know everyone always says this, and it is very cliche, but essentially exercise, you know, is a gateway drug, which I also believe alcohol is a gateway drug. Except exercise is a gateway drug to really happiness and endorphins and self-love and self-confidence, whereas I think alcohol is a gateway drug to all those opposite things. So going and doing, you know, putting a gateway drug of exercise in your brain instead of alcohol, I think will actually navigate you to not want to drink.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think there's a few points in that which I really resonate with. One being finding what I like to call your tribe. If you have been throughout your life someone who drank, right, and you've got friends that drink and friends that are always down the pub or out having a drink, whatever, right, that's fine. They're your friends that you drink with. If you then suddenly become someone who doesn't want to drink, you have to accept that they may not still be the friends that you thought they were back when. And it takes a lot of self-confidence and a lot of self-acceptance to be able to say, okay, you guys, I love you to bits. You're my best friends. I've known you for years, but I can't be around you after 3 drinks because you change as humans, and I'm not on that journey with you. I'm here at the start line, right? Yeah. So I think that it's important, as you said, to find those people so that then you can have the support network around you, so that you don't feel individualized or, sort of left out, like stick out like a sore thumb. Because that's one of the hardest things I found when I did my 90 days last year, was that I'd go out and I knew in my head I was strong. I was like, yeah, I can do this. I don't need it. Like I'm a bubbly, social, fun person anyway. But I still got to that point in the night where I was like, shit, everyone's having a drink. I kind of feel like a drink, but I know I'm not going to have one. And it became this like constant battle with myself. So finding, and I found actually people along the way that were able to help me through it. And some of my really good friends, and this is what really sort of separates them from the group, are the ones that said, are you okay? Do you want to go and do something else non-alcoholic based? And I was like, yes. And it was like those people that, I really respect and love, because they're the ones that saw the struggle I was going through and respected me for it. The expression that comes to mind that I've always loved is celebrate similarities, but respect the differences. So if you're able to do something with someone that both love, celebrate, have a great time, do your worst. But if you're someone different to you, or something that's happening that's different to you, respect that they don't try and force a drink on them because they've said they don't want one. It's really, really mean, if anything, to do it to them, not just disrespectful, because it just forces them to then be socially put out there as someone who's not following the norm as we all think it is. And it does take a few times to your brain and your body and your whole ethos to get around the fact that you're not going to drink in a social environment in which you have been drinking normally. So find your tribe, find your people, and be okay with hanging out with those people on a regular basis, because the more you do it, the easier it will get. Emily, I wanted to touch on a few things about what's going to happen. You're taking a month off, obviously, but is there anything you can give these guys, the community, the people that are watching, some exciting news about what you'll be doing when things go back to regularity and normality, and the events that you might be putting on, the things you might be doing, people can get excited for?
So we're definitely doing a few more bar crawls, because who would think to go on a sober bar crawl, and I love doing them and they're so much fun. I'll definitely look to do another nightclub event, hopefully not bigger and better this time, because it was pretty big and pretty good, but on the same par. We will be bringing the sharing circles back into real life, and looking at potentially doing maybe a membership side to Sober and Social. So that's exciting. So that's very TBC, but that's kind of where we might be going with it. And then in the meantime, on Saturday, actually, we've got a HIIT class live on our Instagram, at 12 o'clock, which is with Evolve, which is a homelessness charity, which I'm really passionate about. So if people
Brilliant.
do want to do that and come along and just, you know, give a little donation, I know they need all the support they can get in this difficult time. As you can imagine, not much staff, and everyone's had to be, you know, taken off and kind of looked after, that all the people that were on the street. So their resources are actually quite low. So yeah, that's what we've got coming up at the weekend. And then yeah, so lots of things coming up in the future. Obviously,
Brilliant.
I just don't know when they're going to be or what order they're going to be in, because God knows when a bar's going to be open again.
Yeah, well, I mean, so if people want to find out more, they can just follow you, follow Sober and Social, and you'll be posting most things on your social media, or you have a website as well. Do you do a lot of stuff on your website, or is it mostly social?
Mostly social media, but also in my month off, I will be on my email. So if anyone does need anything, it's just hello@soberandsocial.com. So if anyone does get really desperate, or they need a chat, or they need, you know, need to send an email, they want to work with me or work with Sober and Social, we're absolutely still open for that. We're just having a little bit of a mind break, as they say.
Absolutely. And you need to look after yourself just as much as everyone else. So do you and have your break. It'd be great. Now, Emily, before we go, I wanted to do my my quick fire question round with you, if that's all right. So I've come up with kind of about a dozen questions that I think are quite fun, that people might, you know, get to know you a bit better by me asking you them. So are you ready? First thing that comes to your head, just fire them back.
I mean, I feel like I have no choice in the matter, so let's go.
You don't. I'm just being polite.
You're just gonna do it.
Exactly. Okay, first question. What has been your favourite takeaway while you've been in quarantine?
Favourite takeaway? Just how resilient that I can be, really, and that I'm really...
I mean food.
Oh, sorry, I'm not very good at this game.
I love that. That's fine. Resilience is a good one. I like that. It comes in a little box, right, with some chopsticks. I love it.
Yeah, I've eaten it every night, actually. It's really good.
Brilliant. No, favourite Deliveroo, I should have asked. Maybe favourite Deliveroo.
Right, I'm glad that you've been able to get Deliveroo. We haven't had Deliveroo down here.
Oh, what? Shame.
No, I've had no takeaways.
You've had to deal with mum's cooking.
Yeah, every night, which actually is quite delicious. But yeah, I'm not lucky enough to have a Deliveroo yet. Maybe ask me this question in a few weeks and I'll come back to you.
Brilliant, done stuff. All right, what's your favourite app you're using at the moment?
Calm.
Oh yeah, Richie Norton said that was his favourite as well the other day.
It's absolutely incredible. I listen to it every morning without fail. It's amazing.
I need to get onto that. Have you been challenged to any fitness or silly challenges during lockdown? If so, what's the worst one?
No.
You haven't done any?
No, and I haven't, and the reason is I haven't been able to run very much because my ankle's not very good at the moment. So I did get nominated for the 5K one, but I've literally just been able to maybe do a little mile, 2 miles each morning. So I have to politely decline. I still gave the money, if that counts.
That does count. Well done. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right. Where are you missing visiting the most, in whether it be London or here in Brighton, but in the UK? Where are you missing that you can't go right now?
I have 2 joint places that I'm missing extremely very much. Barry's Boot Camp in Victoria and the Ned in Bank.
Good answers. I like those. Both very, very nice places. What's the best Netflix series you've been watching? Clearly isn't White Lines.
Not White Lines, no. I absolutely love Wild Wild Country.
Okay, I haven't seen that. Is it good?
You'll love it.
I need to
watch it so then we can debrief on it.
To be fair, last time we spoke, you gave me Gangs of London as a recommendation. I absolutely loved that.
You loved it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Exactly.
I'm definitely going to have to...
I'm a trusted source.
Yeah, it's good recommendations. What is the first thing you do in the morning, other than listen to Calm? What else do you do first thing in the morning?
10 minutes of Calm, gratitude and affirmation list, 1 chapter of my book, 20 minutes of yoga, and then a 2-mile run.
Wow, that is a solid morning routine.
Miracle Morning, babes. You know about them.
I love that. That's good. You know what? One of my books I've got to read. I'm just going to show you and everyone watching what my book collection is looking like at the moment. It's literally like I've got so many books to get through in the next however long. But yes, I 5 a.m. Club is in there by Robin Sharma, and apparently it's really, really good. And it has that whole thing of like getting yourself into a good routine in the morning, and I'm really excited to do it because I think I've got a good routine, but I think it could be better.
What do you do? What can you tell me what you do quickly? Sorry,
Yeah, so
around,
I mean, it's up and down, but I usually get up first thing in the morning. I get up and I exercise. Well, actually, I have a coffee first, then I exercise, and then I try my best to get as much admin out the way as I possibly can in the morning, so that I have the rest of the day free. I'm one of those people that if admin's still in my head, I can't really do anything else. I just need to get it done. I will plan kind of my day around Instagram lives or content producing or anything that's kind of going on in that respect. But I always exercise. I'll always have a coffee, and then I'll cook myself some nice food, and just get on with my day. I try and enjoy the day as much as I possibly can, and not fill it with as much as I possibly can. But I'm that sort of person that my list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer, and I just keep chipping away at it. So today was a good life midday. For me, it was good. Emily, describe yourself in 3 words.
Vivacious, excitable, and kind.
Like it. Good words. Good words. What's the best book that you have read recently, and what has it taught you?
Oh my God, hang on. I'm reading at the moment. Where is it? I don't think it's in here. Okay, so I'm reading Jen Silko, You Are a Badass, and it's incredible. And also, sorry, I've actually got it here. I've been reading this one as well. Ask and It Is Given, which is a great book. And Brené Brown, Braving the Wilderness, is the last one I just finished as well. So they're my 3 top picks for now for you.
Like it. What has they taught you most? What's the one takeaway from the books you've read?
To just keep the faith and try and keep in alignment with kind of your higher power and being like positive about life, basically.
Like it. What would you say to your 21-year-old self?
Just enjoy life, because everything will sort itself out and everything will happen as it's meant to happen, and just not to worry too much.
Like it. Good advice. And what's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given? Ever?
I say this a lot, but I'm just going to say it again because it's just really invaluable. Is progress, not perfection.
Love it. It's one of my favorites.
I love that. We always talk about that.
It's so good. It's just exactly what it's just so short, concise, exactly what it says on the tin. It's amazing. Where is the first place you're going to go on holiday when we're allowed to leave and go about our normal lives?
Ibiza.
Like it. And what would you say your greatest strength is?
My greatest strength is probably how I can connect and understand with people.
Brilliant. I like it. Now, last question. What day of the week is it?
Wednesday,
yes. Oh yeah, I'm trying to.
Did you know the answer to that one? I don't think. I'll be honest,
I was waiting for you to answer before I answered. I
could have said any day and you would have agreed.
I had to look at my laptop and be like, is it Wednesday? Yeah, no, it's definitely Wednesday. Emily, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me and everyone watching. If anyone wants to find out more about you, Sober and Social, the podcast, everything we've spoken about today, how and where can they find you?
So Sober Sips is on Apple or Spotify, or hit me up on social media at sober_and_social, or email me at hello@soberandsocial.com.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. If anybody has anything they want to ask Emily, feel free to drop her a message. She is going offline for the month of June, so get it in quick.
On Sunday.
I'll email her, obviously, on the email that she gave earlier, or it's linked on your profile as well, isn't it? So they can get in touch on exactly. That. But otherwise, look after yourself. Enjoy your lockdown. Let me know if you need any help with anything. I'm always here to.
I'll probably still give you a call. It's fine.
Give me a call. It's always
You're not getting away. You're not getting off my line, I'm afraid.
Exactly. It's good.
Well, I'll speak to you later.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon, Emily.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today on this live with Emily from Sober and Social. Super enjoyed that one. She's always lovely to talk to. If you want to watch this back, if you didn't catch the beginning of it, I'm going to put it on my IGTV shortly. But otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. I've got another live with Danny Menzies. We're going to be talking about her lockdown journey and what she's been up to. So yeah, join us tomorrow. Peace out. Have a nice evening.